Hey everybody, Jazzmyn Banks back again talking about the new docu-series called Push Girls about the friendship between four women who happen to be in wheelchairs. So this episode was a real tearjerker for sure. It focused on Tiffany, who has to go back to her 10-year high school reunion, and as if those are not painful enough. It also happens to fall on the anniversary of the day she was in the car accident that put her in a wheelchair. And, she does bring up her fears about those who did not know that she was in an accident and ended up in a wheelchair. How are they going to treat her? Will they treat her differently because of this? And also, I have to say, I was thinking, it only added insult to injury that when she arrived at the reunion that it was up 3 flights of stairs and that there were no accommodations brought into consideration, knowing that someone in a wheelchair was attending, but just that's me. And, it does bring up a realistic thing when it comes to being in a wheelchair, having a big disability, that when you go from A to B, you go from being totally normal to having some physical issues that are noticeable and get in the way of you doing a lot of stuff in life. What comes with that package is that people, in most cases, do treat you differently. They treat you like you're special, and like the wheelchair is on your head, and not like you're just sitting in it. They also want to focus on the wheelchair an awful lot. And, most people in wheelchairs totally hate that. And understandably so, because that's not your bonding point. Now, if you're talking to other people with disabilities and it's a certain circumstance, sure, we're not going to talk about it. But in general, it's not the bonding point most people want. It's basically that you're going through your day, you're totally fine, and then someone wants to start a conversation based on a medical issue you have. And then it's a complete downer. So I think that's an important issue for people to know the etiquette of how to talk to someone in a wheelchair. If there's suddenly this difference, maybe it's better to let that person bring it up. If they want to bring it up, if not, just have a normal conversation. Also, jokes about the wheelchair are not actually funny. I can't tell you how many times I'm going down the street and I hear, if I'm in a rush, "Hey, speed racer," or if I'm backing up, and beep, beep. I laugh along. I don't usually start anything, but every once in a while, if someone does it enough, and I know them, I may nicely go over, and I'm always careful to be nice, explain to them that when you crack that joke, it's just simply reminding me that something's wrong with me or something happened to me. I wasn't thinking about it. My mind was not on it. Now it is. So it's one of those things that I can crack all the jokes in the world I want about my traumatic situation, but this is not something that someone else should joke about. It's the same thing as, if my dad died, like would people start, cracking jokes about that? It's just not appropriate to crack jokes about someone's medical situation, especially when it's so traumatic. What you can crack jokes about is perhaps the ignorance that you see someone being met with, or the idiocy that you're surrounded by. If someone witnesses that, that's what you can crack the joke about. And then you're on the same team with this person, and vice versa. There's a difference in how you treat someone. Are you treating them special, or are you treating them as an equal? You've gone from A to B. Those reminders can be tough. There are anniversaries, or maybe, in my case, I know it's a year. I was 7 years old when the disease happened overnight. I know by the time I was 10, I was in the wheelchair. So those ages, every time I hear age 7, age 10 relating to others, it does bring up that memory. I can't help it. I don't sit there and start bawling or anything like that. But that is the first thought that runs through my head, because it was a significant event in my life. I've moved past it, but I'm never going to forget it. We're all given something for a reason, and then it's up to us, what are we going to do with it? It's like you got a whole bunch of unrelated leftovers in your refrigerator. What are you going to do with them? Maybe you're going to make something new out of them. Maybe you're going to discover something, that is just great. There's something you do grow from in an experience like that. And you could see that with the character Tiffany. She was a party girl who was always getting into trouble, and the accident was kind of this big wake-up call that she was given a chance at life. The other people in the car who died did not get that second chance. So I think that's, the big thing to take away from the episode is to value what you do have. So what I think we should take away from this episode is value. How we value ourselves, what we do with what we're given, all the challenging stuff, all the great stuff. What do we do with those ingredients for ourselves and for those around us? Also, how are we being treated? How do we treat others? Are we simply glancing at people? Are we staring at people? Are we treating them as an equal? Or are we treating them like they're special? I've always said that disability is kind of like celebrity in that people always stare at you. People always walk up to you and ask you the most intimate and inappropriate questions. They even feel permission to suddenly hug you or pinch your cheeks or pat you on the head. But it's the same as celebrity without the benefit of being a celebrity. And certainly the riches don't come with it either. So I think what we need to take away from this episode is the value of people and how we treat them and how we view them. And what is the etiquette when it comes to how we talk to other people, how we make them feel at the end of the day. Did we do something to remind them of something that they don't want to dwell on? Or did we make them feel just the same as everybody else? So I'd love to hear some comments or questions from you guys, whether it relates to the show Push Girls, to the world of disability, or anything I've had to say. So until next time, I look forward to hearing from you and doing another video. Thanks. Bye.